There we go.
You had a theme about thoughts, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts. What are they?
Who knows? They just come and go.
I was looking at that this morning, thoughts, but it's like they come and go, like you said. But at the same time, they really can't come and go because there's no difference between me and the thoughts. Because when I was taking my walk this morning, there's really no difference. There's sort of me and sort of the thoughts, but there's no dividing line between the two.
It seems like they appear and disappear, but at the same time, they can't be different from what you are.
Yeah,
So there's a kind of paradox, right?
yeah.
But thoughts don't think about other thoughts. Yeah, that's the weird thing, isn't it? Because when you're having a thought, then one thought kind of produces another thought. And it seems like your thoughts are thinking about more thoughts. But that's not really what's happening, is it? Because a thought can't think another thought. But there seems to be a process of thinking. It's a mystery, really. And some thoughts are welcome thoughts, and other thoughts are unwanted, undesirable thoughts. So we're already making a judgment about those thoughts. Ah, my early morning coffee. This is samadhi in a cup, John.
Samadhi in a cup.
A small gathering today.
Yeah, the not knowing that this is not knowable, or she said a mystery, Tony. Um, the mind just goes ahead and ignores that. The mind just carries on with its problems and its interests and its dilemmas and the fact that this is all mystery isn't isn't anything the mind is interested in. I was talking to Leela yesterday about the seeking, having been, a hardcore seeker for so long, looking for something desperately. I told her back then, I said, if you had offered me $1 million or enlightenment, I would have taken the enlightenment. It's really true. Now, I'll take the million. Because the whole point of seeking is not to find, at least I didn't find anything. The best I can tell, the whole point of seeking is to become exhausted. That's the grace of futility, Leela's last video title. The grace of futility. Her and I often talk about we actually never found anything. We just gave up. We had no more tries. We just couldn't do it.
Yeah, the same thing happened for me too. I was there was just a desperation, and there was jealousy, and there was resentment and frustration because I was identifying with thoughts that would say, well, how can we become like them? What can we do? Why aren't we like them? Like just, and when I ponder on those thoughts now, they're just thoughts. And for me, it was the same thing. It was just pure, I had to know.
Hmm.
I was exhausted with affirmations, and the Course in Miracles, doing the steps from the 12 step over and over and over. And then there was an opening. And then there was I joined that group, and I was like chomping at the bit. And so every time a question was presented, there was this fear that came up, but it was just what I realized was, and I said this before, is that I would feel into the question, not think about the question. That was the opening right there.
Hmm.
You know, one of the questions, there were so many. One of them was like, do you feel that you're responsible for everything? Well, the first thought that came up was, oh yeah, I'm responsible for my bills, I'm responsible for this. And then I wrote it down, and then they brought it back again, the question. And and then as I was writing it, I was like, oh my God, that's just a thought. I'm responsible for my bills. Like there was an attachment to that. The I, I had identified myself as that I and that I. And I started seeing that everything was I, this. And what I also was able to see was that they were just thought. Everything is thought.
Hmm.
Everything that comes out of this mouth is just thought. And I like what you said, Tony. It is a mystery, and thought cannot think of it. It can't. It can't
Is
think its way.
what you're describing is that when you become like the witness of those thoughts, that you kind of take a step back and you become a witness.
Mhm. Yes,
And then what can dawn, it can begin to dawn. You actually you've not moved.
exactly. Right there. Have not moved. Witness, and all of a sudden, what I'm sensing is what I'm seeing. All of a sudden, that what becomes real is my breath, breathing
Mm.
in and out.
Mm.
Start sensing that. The
There's
bump.
no place to go. Sorry, sorry. I was
No,
just
it's
saying there's
okay.
no place. There's no place to go.
Yes, there's exactly. It was just a seeing so clearly that what was real was just right in front of me.
Hmm.
Colors, the shapes,
Hmm.
the typing, the hair doing this, without thought. Then that whole day after those inquiries, after I was answering it through feeling, there was like what you were saying, Tony, there's more like a noticing of the body walking, the body shifting gears. Like, wow, there's no thought to shifting first to second to third. It's like for the first time I'm seeing the body doing it without thought. But I've been so trained to believe that Indira is doing it. Indira is paying bills. Well, there's just paying bills. And like I said, if I were to close my eyes and look to see if there's an eye, I don't see an eye. I don't see I see nothing. Bam. That's the opening right there. Subtle, quiet, still, unchanging, unmovable, here always. Mouth moving, not even premeditating what's coming out. I find that pretty amazing. Like, that's glorious. Like, wow, no thought to it.
That,
It's just,
noticing is not really happening for most people, it seems. But I suppose when you notice, maybe the first time it happens, it's a kind of an accident. Something happens that makes you notice. But then once you notice, then maybe you make a deliberate act of noticing after that. I suppose that's what you could define as practice. When the noticing becomes something that I suppose becomes a little bit more habitual. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because it's like you're not, once you notice, then you can't unsee it.
yes,
the noticing, there's no separation or distance between the noticing and the noticed. So there can be no real witnessing because there's nothing to witness.
But that's an afterthought, isn't it, Don? You're just having that as a self-reflective thought that there's no separation.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean that like you're having a
Sure.
thought after the event, yeah. Um, but I mean, if you're noticing that, that doesn't mean it's separate because there's noticing because well, the noticing itself isn't separate.
Hmm.
Or,
Yeah. There's no one
or
to
even if you
notice.
say, yeah, even if you say there's a witness,
Yeah.
that witness itself is not separate, but it
Right.
kind of seems to be, in
It's
like one particular aspect of it, but it's
right.
difficult to.
I mean, it seems to be if you're in duality, but if you're not in duality, if there's no duality, then there's no witness, there's no seeing. I mean, I know this gets down to language,
Yeah,
but
yeah, but the
I
one
mean,
appears as many, doesn't it? The one appears as many.
Yeah.
right from this state, from
Well,
the state of duality, one appears as many, and that's
yeah.
and that too, that's beautiful. I mean, that really is.
Do you ever notice how you can
Uh,
hear a pointer for decades and then one day it just makes total sense? So, we've all heard the ocean is the wave and the wave is the ocean. Yeah, yeah. Tell me something new. And then all of a sudden, that can land. Like you realize, so the ocean never moves. It just doesn't. And yet, all the waves, that's all they do is move. So you have this dance of duality and non-duality that are inseparable. Duality is non-duality. Non-duality is duality. Duality is non-duality. They're not, the ocean and the waves appear separate. There does appear to be separate waves. But if we just notice, there you go, Tony, we can notice the wave is not separate from the ocean. So whatever the wave thinks it's doing, oh, I think I'll go to the right, assuming a wave would know what right is. It's actually the ocean that did everything, made it go to the right or not, and put the thought there.
I mean, what I would say to Don is, when the Buddha was walking on the road and a stranger on the road asked him who he was, the Buddha turned to acknowledge the stranger as if he was a body. So that still happens. Right? I mean, that dualistic aspect, the relative, what you call it, that isn't deleted. I mean, it's not, it doesn't disappear.
Well, there's nothing to
So
resolve, Tony. There's
yeah,
no,
even
that's the freedom. There's no,
well, that's it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's nothing to resolve because even if you say I, it's okay. It's okay to say I,
yeah.
because that I is not different from the totality. There's no conflict there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
As a seeker, I wouldn't have gotten that. But as a seeker, what we're talking about would seem confusing. But what we're sharing is very clear. And we do need like we need language to speak and to communicate with one another. And like you
Yeah.
said, Tony, it's very okay. Like I say all the time, but I can speak and also see at the same time through the illusion. That doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and explain the illusion and say, well, no, it's just
Uh, I
it's
mean,
just
have you heard some of these, these really extreme radicals who say this body or this unit is getting out of a chair now to go over to, I mean, they talk about themselves as something that instead of saying I, they say that there's actually a non-dual teacher, I can't remember his name. He always refers to himself as a unit. He says this unit. I'm like, "Huh? This unit?
Oh,
It's like
is
something.
that Fred
And
Davis?
oh yes, it's Fred Davis. Yes, yeah.
it's almost like I could say to my brother, I went to the park and I'm walking, and at the same time I can see that that's not really true, that there's just walking, but I'm not going to explain that to him.
Yeah, yeah, because if you report it afterwards, yeah, if you just spontaneously get up and go for a walk, you're not thinking, oh, I'm going for a walk. This unit is going for a walk. But if I say, hey,
Right.
Indira, what did you do in the morning? You say, oh, I went for a walk. Yeah, that's okay.
And at the same time seeing that the body is just walking
Yeah.
same time. Yeah, that's the difference.
But I like what Michael said right at the beginning about exhaustion. This kind of exhaustion. It's like I can't remember where I saw this. It's like this clenched fist. That's the clenched fist, and then when you stop trying, it relaxes, and it just opens up into the space of the palm. But nothing's changed. It's still the fist, but instead of clenched, you're just releasing it and letting go. And that mental exhaustion you're talking about, or that seeking exhaustion, it just lets go of the grasping.
Yeah, it's an unsaid, unspoken relaxation.
Hmm.
Really.
Yeah, relaxation.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I hear that was felt as a localized sense of separation. So that's why knowing intellectually there's no separation doesn't really help
Yeah.
because it feels energetic. It feels like I'm actually here located, in my body somewhere as a separate entity. It can feel very, like just that's how it is. But it can also not feel like that. That feeling, that tightness, that clench can, like you said, open and relax. But it's like the old thing of it's not an adding to you, it's a taking away. That's the piece. Like if someone's been stepping on your toe your whole life, and then finally, you're 40 years old and they take their foot off your toe, and you're like, ah, that feels so good. You didn't actually do anything, but it was no longer this sense that I'm in charge or I know what to do next or I'm the doer. That can be seen through. You realize the way, when you kept it really close to two waves, if you like zoomed in, they would look like they're independent. But what happens when you zoom back and notice that every wave is actually the ocean? So no wave is doing anything.
And seeing that the trying, trying to be, all of that starts to collapse. And it's like, oh, wow, I didn't have to do anything. It's right here. It's just aliveness right here.
Well, if you feel into it, you can notice that aliveness right here isn't actually trying to do anything.
Hmm.
It doesn't have a goal. It's the journey. It's just this. It's the simplicity of just this.
I was noticing when I was walking this morning, walking the dog, it was like an experience that the body was just walking. Okay, like the calves. I felt my calves. They were just squeezing and this thing was just moving. But what I found interesting was that for a moment in there, it wasn't the thought didn't come up. I'm not suffering, or this is non-dual. It wasn't like in relationship to suffering. It's not like, oh, I'm not suffering. Does that make sense? It was just the experience of um, this body moving in space. And yeah, so it's like I mean, I think that if I say, well, I'm not suffering now, and I used to suffer, something like that, then for me, I'm still suffering because it would be, it's like it, it, it seemed like the state of just what is, just that movement would not include I once suffered, if that makes any sense.
If you're not suffering right now, are you suffering?
Right. No. Right. Yeah. You wouldn't
So
even you
that
wouldn't even know that you were suffering, I would think, or that was my experience this morning. I didn't even know that I
so
was suffering.
oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
boy, this
yeah.
is oh, I'm so happy I'm not suffering. It was more I was so engrossed in feeling the calves moving on their own that was high enough. That was there was nothing more. There's like nothing more there.
So if you're
No,
not suffering right now,
right. There was
and
no thought of that.
there's only right now,
Right. Exactly.
that means you're not suffering. Uh,
Right.
yeah. Of course, thoughts aren't the enemy, are they? Maybe it seems like thoughts are the enemy when they're seeking.
Well, it turns out that it's thoughts arguing with thoughts. And it's the imagining that you're involved in that.
And that's the separation.
Like I take my dog out for a walk. I don't think I'm my dog. So I'm thinking to myself when I go out in the morning, I'll take the dog out, I'll take my thoughts and put them on leashes and take them out for a walk and know that they're not me either. That's why I'll practice that tomorrow. I can take my thoughts out for a walk so they can pee, so they can do their stuff on the ground and not in my head.
Yeah, I made a new post today on YouTube asking the question, which thought is actually you?
None of them.
Or all of them.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, John. In fact, I was just going to say that myself, but you beat me to it.
Oh,
The sensations of the body is real. What you were sharing, Don, Like that's the reality. And like, for example, when I do take a walk in the park, um, yes, thoughts arise out of nowhere. Sometimes it's funny because it's not like, I'm making the thoughts come up. It's so obvious that they're just coming up. And yet when I'm walking, I really tune into the sense of the body, the legs. Sometimes I'll just do this. This is what's real.
Hmm.
And thoughts are either in the past or in the future or a memory or an assumption. And so it's like you were saying, the reality for me too is the sensations for me. When the sensations of the body, that's the reality.
Hmm.
If I can, when I can look at the sensations and feel into them without allowing the thought to dictate it, there is a different kind of feeling. I mean, sometimes the sensations don't feel good. Um, and that's okay too. Not every sensation is going to feel good, and sometimes sensations do feel good. It really doesn't matter, but I find that any and all sensations in the body is the reality. Sat, like the body wanting to weep. That's what's happening. You know, um, feeling the tears come out and the warmth of the cheeks. That's the reality. And it becomes, and I've noticed this in this year and last year, that it becomes more, there's like a sense of peace with it. Like there's no suffering in the sensations of the body. The suffering comes when thought comes in there and starts saying, whatever. And then there's a belief in that, but they can come up all they want. It's fine now. They're welcomed. All the thoughts are welcome. But I would say, like in your situation, the reality is feeling the sensation of your legs and, you know, sensing that connection with the dog and the breeze on the face. That's reality. Not really negating thoughts or nothing like that, because I sometimes I have thoughts that are just I don't know, where sometimes they can be negative. But so it's okay though. Like I keep saying it, I look at the thoughts as wanting to help in their own dysfunctional, fucked up kind of weird way. And that's all they're trying to do, but they're not even, there's no them. There's no, they're just, I have no idea. They're just energy arising or appearing as if it's me, as if it's somebody. And I can see that. I see that so clearly. And yet at the same time, I can also feel the bum on the couch or on this bed, or the pain in the back, and just that's the reality. It's not the story about it, but the reality of the sensations.
So beautiful. Thank you. So once again, I was listening to the words, and then this my heart, opened, and again, then it was like the words that you were saying. I heard them, but they were like, "Who cares?" Because what what was coming from you was wordless, touched the heart from 3,000 miles away, where you're back east somewhere, something, like we're 3,000 miles apart. It's like the words, yeah, there, I could hear those, but the heart, or I'm calling it the heart, it's like right here, right now. So beautiful. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Tom.
That's very nicely put as well, Don. What is that, Don? When you maybe can you describe that opening of the heart? Can you describe what that is?
I was just thinking about it. You said it. It's like everything. It seems like in this moment, everything emanates from this heart. So all you are an emanation or an inclusion of the heart energy going out, and it's just a sense of there's there's not two of us here. I mean, there is in the relative way. I'm not denying that, but it's just
Mm.
one. It's just the heart is one, and it just like it connects into all of you like right here without the thought. Okay, if I go up in my head, I go, well, you look like this, you look like this, and I like you, I don't like you, and the millions of things that crazy person speaks about upstairs. But in the heart, it's like no, the thoughts don't even come up. But if they do come up, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, they don't even come up. It's like heart. It's like no body, no physical body, just heart. It's just like heart, and it's like and it, but it enlivens the body. It moves the body. It uplifts the body, and in this moment, it's like it doesn't say this or that, this or that. It's like like as a like Trump. I don't like Trump. He's not my favorite guy. But it's like in this moment, oh, it's like in this moment, oh, Trump, oh, let me hug you, Mr. Trump. Ha ha ha! I love this stuff. It's like it's like it's so non-dual. It's just love or heart open for everything. It's just open heart. I love it. But Indira got it going. To put it in duality terms. So that's why I need people and need these kinds of talkings. Do you know what I mean? This kind of group. You know.
Hey, Michael, I mean, you know a lot about Ramana Maharshi. I mean, you often mention it because Ramana spoke about what you are, this beingness. He said it was, how did he put it? It lives in the heart cave. Or he talked about the cave of the heart, which is, yeah.
Yeah, I think every being is going to have its own way of describing it. So I think it's unique for every being. But what seems to have happened here was that there became less of an interest in this is dualistic and this is non-dualistic. Like that lost its appeal. I realized I really didn't know what was dual and what was, and that began to blur. And so that's when the ocean and the waves were kind of indistinguishable.
Yeah, you're right, Michael. I mean, this distinction that's always being made between non-dual and dual. I mean, I don't know, eventually it's just not useful anymore. Huh? Am I going to go and have a non-dual breakfast after this? I mean,
It sounds so fun. Yeah, we have the $5 dual breakfast or the $10 non-dual breakfast. It's just what the mind does. The mind's only tool is one against the other, black, white. It's the only way it can know anything. It's like we talked about last week, Tony, where I said hot and cold are not two, and you said yes, because they're a continuum.
Mm.
And so everything is basically a continuum. There's no real separation in life. Life is not separate from itself.
Yeah, it's impossible to say where something ends and something else begins. Mm.
Yeah. So that's why, like, at least here, like, there's not really much interest here in theories as to what this is or the Big Bang, or I'm not really honestly that interested in scientific speak. Because to me, it's just the simplicity of what is. It's just always right here, like Indira says, it's the touch. Like you don't need a word for this, like Indira was doing. She was like touching her own. And if you try and put a word to even touching the word doesn't touch the rubbing of the two fingers, doesn't describe it.
Yeah, what Indira said, it's like a relaxation. It's a relaxation into just what this is and whatever that is.
And then noticing can you can notice how this is already doing itself. Already, it's pumping your blood. It's allowing you to see through your eyes. It's doing everything, and we forget that. We're over there cutting dinner up, forgetting about, well, yeah, but who's doing the sky? Who's doing the weather? Who's doing, you know, all the other stuff? So the mind can be very deceptive because it's very selective. And suddenly, if it sort of shines its flashlight on a problem, the problem can seem to obscure like our entire field of, like, it feels so real. And then it can also be gone. I'm like, what? Like, what was that all about? And there's not even a trace of it. Like a dream, right? No matter how intense last night's dream was, scared to death, running for your life. The second you wake up, where is any of that?
It's beautiful, Michael. Wow. Hmm. Yeah, non-dual and non-dual and duality are just words. It can also it's a great way for the mind to land somewhere. Um, but it's what's behind that? What is behind non-dual and duality? Let's really look.
So this is exciting. It seems like there's just a small group of people like you all and myself and Jenny and Leela, that are just love this. It's just like it feels like a breath of fresh air, you know?
There's no more pretending.
Yeah.
That's why it feels so good because it's just no pretending.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I see this as like sitting here as like all these little pearls of wisdom that are coming from these voices, just like it feels like they're just descending through my crown into my body. All these little, I'm just sitting back, just like a Greek god. You know, when you lay back and you get the grapes handed to you. So it's like that. And so with that, it's like, and I'm thinking, like, truly, I mean, what a privilege for me personally. What a privilege to be here right now in this group talking this way. This is like not ordinary. It's extraordinary. It's like I couldn't do enough to deserve this. It's like grace. It's like the grace of God. That's it. Okay, I'm done.
Wow, Don, just how much samadhi can you take?
A little more.
It's like we're the sun and we innocently identify with a ray.
Oh, well, I just thought about what duality looks like then, because you have that one sun, and then you see all these dewdrops on the leaves, and they're all reflecting their own light, but it's all coming from the same
Yeah,
source.
yeah, yeah. You know, there can be great fear around the loss of control, like the me, so to say, not wanting to let go of control. But actually, you've never had control. There's never been a shred of control. There's the appearance of control. The wave can believe it's going to the right and it chose to go to the right and now it's going, it can seem like that. But it was only ever the ocean from jump. I would say that you don't actually need control. Like the me thinks it needs control, but I notice everything does itself.
Yeah, even when you're making a choice, so it seems like you're making a choice between A and B. I mean, that choice is just still being just presented to you, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, it's the old, there's a cookie and an apple. And I say, which do you want, Tony? Okay, so pick one. Do you want the cookie or the apple?
Oh, the cookie every time.
Yeah. So you don't need a me to say that. It just popped out. It just
Yeah, that just arrived,
yeah,
just like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, but then I might think, ah, wait a minute, or do I? Maybe maybe the apple is the healthier option.
Yeah. But that's it too, right?
But
Then you
that's
start
it. Yeah, but that's
pausing.
just another spontaneous thought, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can, yeah.
Oh, damn, I'll just take the cookie.
Yeah. Screw it, I'll eat both.
Yes. Yeah, eating both is non-duality because the apple and the cookie are everything.
Well, I mean, look at nature, right? Look at an apple tree. An apple tree's not thinking about control. Life is doing the apple tree. And like the apple tree, life is doing us. That's a beautiful thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not like here, loss of control wasn't seen. There was a relief. Thank God. I told you, it's like the me was like, here, God, hold my beer. I got this. Like the me thinks it's actually doing stuff. And I found it exhausting, like draining, like energy draining, like a heaviness of always one, second guessing. Did I make the right choice? And finally, there just began this relaxation of, what? I really don't know. I don't know what I should do. Let's see what happens.
Not having control is the freedom.
But you've always not had control. It's just nothing's actually happened.
No, nothing's happened, but you just might be fooling yourself into thinking you have control. And that's the contraction. But the helplessness of not having, of knowing that you don't have your control is just the freedom.
Yeah, it is a freedom. Because if you have control, then you got to use it responsibly. And if you fuck up, well, that's on you. You didn't use your you didn't use your control right. But when it's seen that the wind, the clouds, everything is doing itself. Nobody's doing the weather. No one's doing your heart beating. It's all just the grace.
Yeah. Thinking you're having the control is like a burden, isn't it? It's like a burden on the mind.
Well, imagine a wave thinking it had control.
Yeah, there's signs all everywhere, everywhere. The trees, dewdrops, turtles, a baby smiling, laughing. There's constant, I find, signs everywhere, reflecting back to the stillness that's here always. Um, the tree just gives life to another tree. I mean, this is just a story, but it's amazing if you really. It's like it's like an ancient being. Um, it has these photosynthesis in them. It gives life to another tree, but it doesn't know. It's just doing it, and it's like I find that nature for me, there's so many signals, there's so many signs reflecting back to me what's here, what's present, always. For me, it's the visuals are just so intense. They're just like snapshots. There could be a mind storm happening, and then I go outside and just look at the one tree that's been here for a seeming long time, and it's just so still, and it's basically mirroring back to me the stillness here. And and there's also a lot of forgetting. Like there, there's no more like holding on to what the body is doing yesterday or the day before. There may be memories, but it doesn't even matter anymore. It just there's like an for me, it's just like I don't know if not like a not no careness. It's just go to the bathroom, get up, cook. The body just does what it does to take care of itself. It has an intelligence, I guess, inside that's just doing itself, and it's seeing that. I can definitely see that. Um, Sometimes it's mind-boggling, like just like wow, it's like I had shared this once at an interview I did. It's like I get up, get dressed up, go to drive in the car. And before I know it, I'm on the plane. Like, how did I get here? How did it's like there's no more like hanging on to when I was putting on the makeup or putting on the clothes, or like the story of what the body does seems to have no more legs to it. That it just seems like time is just like bam, it's like I'm right here, just like it's hard to it's like I just came back from Jamaica, but that's just a story. I've been here on the plane here, you know, serving customers here, and now I'm here. It's hard to put into words, but there is no. It's so obvious that that I am being done, and there is just no person in here. It's just the body doing what it's supposed to be doing or what it is doing. And it doesn't even matter what it does. There's no judgment over it. That's another thing. There's no judgment over it. It's like, okay. Or even reactions are very accepted. They're like I had shared one time, it's like a mother inside of here that's just like welcoming everything,
Mhm.
So yeah.
I totally relate to that. Yeah, about memories as well. Whenever I think about memories of something, from years ago, it just seems like a dream somehow. It's like it just never happened.
Mhm.
It's just even yesterday, what happened yesterday, it's kind of, what was it? Where's it gone?
It's beautiful.
Mhm. That's funny. I just heard a neighbor's dog bark, and then some guy out there said to the dog, "No, wrong." He he told the dog his bark was wrong. Oh, it's so perfect. So the is causeless. It doesn't depend on anything.
and always available.
Because it's you.
Yeah.
So the question is, are you always available?
You're available to yourself.
Just want to say hi to Addie.
Yay. Hi, Addie.
Hi, Adi.
Glad you made it.
Yeah, lately I've just been like feeling like I've like got it, I've lost it, I've got it, I've lost it. And it's really frustrating because like it feels so close. It's so close. It's like annoyingly close. I just cannot like even part of me like it's so true. And then like I guess it is like an attachment to the story or like yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Like
It's closer
what am
than
I
the tip
supposed
of
to
your
do with that?
nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, the feeling of being this close. I'm so close. That's it.
That's
Oh,
what.
I'll never get there. I Muji, maybe another lifetime. I'll be like Muji. Uh,
I don't want to be like Muji, but
what I'm
Yeah, well,
saying
really, 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 Don, you don't want to have your feet kissed? I mean, you're kidding me. You're kidding me.
yeah, that's why here the word already was, for some reason, was a big deal. Because I said, well, if all is this already, then it's just a matter of, like we began the meeting, Tony, noticing that. That's a noticing. If all is this already, it certainly is not a doing. So even the depression is not ours. The wishing it would go away doesn't belong to anyone. So that's the compassion. There can be, you can have compassion for your own suffering.
There's just been a lot of sadness lately, and just more of a desire just to like not go on my phone and just sit there with it.
What's wrong with that? Why can't we just do nothing? You know?
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, there's just too many distractions on the phone.
Yeah. I got an app to block all my YouTube shorts.
Mm.
So I don't go on them anymore.
You got an app for your app?
Yeah.
Sounds like intuition.
It's annoying. I click on it because I want a brain rot, and then it's like, nope. Sit on it.
this has been a most enlightening evening.
Aw,
Yeah, nothing's a mistake. Nothing.
no. Yeah, the ocean isn't trying to get anywhere. Where the wave may, if the wave were conscious, it might think, oh, there's a better place. I need to be there. But the ocean is just chill. So they can both be in play. There can be like uncomfortableness, nervousness, self-consciousness, separationness, and yet there can still be a chill simultaneously.
Nothing's a mistake. Is that real, Indira?
The mind would like to say it shouldn't be that way or
Yeah.
it'll, but the truth is it happened and it didn't happen at the same time.
Yeah,
So what difference does it make? It's
yeah,
not here.
yeah.
Yeah. It's it's like a subtle way of compassion for whatever the body does.
Mhm.
Unconditional. Smoking, not smoking, drinking, not drinking. It doesn't matter. And so trained to identify with judgment that when that collapses, it's okay, you know,
Yeah.
it just becomes okay. My neighbor, he's uh he's very lonely. And anyways, I there is a memory of just walking down the stairs and just getting stuff done. And remember, he was asking me, he wanted to talk, but I really didn't want to talk. Like being okay with, I don't, there's, I just didn't want to talk. Like that people pleasing is gone. You know, it's like just honoring that, honoring where I'm at. And he asked me who I was talking to on the phone. I said, it's none of your business. None of your business. And not feeling bad about that. You know,
Yeah.
it's,
Good for you, Indira. Woo!
Oh,
Bucket, be yourself. Woo!
Alexis, go girl. Wow. How beautiful. Don, we love your ass. You're like our breakout star. Yeah. Yeah, I get more comments about you. Oh, I love Don. He's so great.
Who wouldn't?
He's
Any
so
last,
yellow.
what'd you say?
He's like yellow. I don't know how to describe it. That's his vibe. He gives yellow vibes.
Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
What a wonderful meeting. That's all I want to
yeah,
say.
love
Good.
you all.
Love you all. Thank you, Tony,
Thank
Dawn,
you.
Addie, Indira, Alexis, Anon, phone number. Thank you guys. Take care.